Hey folks, Will Owen here with JetBoatPilot.com. Today we're going to talk about the JetWash Deflector. What is it? What does it do? You'll notice in the back of the boat here we have a 255 FSH here today, and we have two different deflectors, a 24/25 foot version for 2020 and newer, as well as a 21 foot version for 2020 and newer. Now we also have the same product available for essentially 2006 up through 2019. It's a clip-on style, whereas this uses a mount rail system, but both function the same way. It's the difference of how they install, and we can talk about that later. But let's talk about what the product does. So without some sort of wake-shaping device, your Yamaha boat will not surf very well. It will not produce a surfable wave very well. You can stack all the ballast that you want to on the boat. You can sit people where you want to. You can stage it and set it up just right. But if you don't have some sort of wake-shaping device, the wave never really gets truly laminar, which means it does not have a lot of push. It's foamy, it's frothy, it's just not going to give you a lot of push, especially for those guys that are larger, 200-pound guy that wants to drop the rope and have fun. So adding a weight-shaping device like the JetWash Deflector is going to give you a much cleaner surf wave on the surf side. And it's important to note that while this product does its job well, you are still going to need to include ballast as part of your setup. To go surfing, there are three critical things. You're going to need to have ballast set up first. That's most important. Ballast creates wave or water displacement. Water displacement creates wave magnitude. The second thing you're going to need is a wake-shaping device such as the JetWash Deflector, and that's going to give you the ability to really shape that wave and make it clean and laminar. And the third thing that we recommend, if you don't have it, you really want to take a serious look at it, is the Perfect Pass system, which is going to help you lock in the perfect speed to go surfing. You can set the speed, GPS, all day long, and you don't want to spend so much of your brain power trying to manage speed. You can spend your time focusing on your rider and the surroundings, making sure you're staying safe. So let's talk about how it works. You'll notice on the 24-foot version, there's an adjustable feature allowing us to select which side of the boat that we're going to be surfing. So for instance, if it's set pointing towards the port side, we're going to be surfing on the port side. Lock down the cam handle, you're ready to go surf. You want to surf the starboard side, flip it over, lock down the cam handle, we're ready to surf the starboard side. On the 21-foot version, you'll notice that it does not have that feature. It's not necessary on the 21-foot version because the swim platform's length does not space the deflector so far away from the jet pumps to necessitate that. This was needed because the jet pumps are sitting farther away from the ladder. On the 21, jet pumps sit nearer to the ladder, so it wasn't necessary. So 21-foot version, you'll simply clip it on, same procedure, and regardless of surfing port side or starboard side, works the same way. So let's talk about storage. Once we pull it out, you'll notice that you can probably stow this under most of your compartments on your boat. However, if you'd like to save some room, there is a removable hinge pin right here on the end. It uses a 10mm wrench and a 5mm Allen. You'll pull the rail out and stow that somewhere else, and basically you can stow this in a smaller space that way. When you're ready to go surfing again, you'll simply take the device, you'll place it back in place, lock it in, and off you go. We have two locking clevises that are intentionally designed to be difficult to remove because we don't want it coming off underway. Pull this guy off on this side. Pull the pins so we have our locking clevises detached. We're going to slide it out, and this is your JetWash Deflector. We'll slide it back in. Locking clevis pins are going to go in the holes, pass through. The locking feature is going to go over the tip. Lock one. Come to the other side. And we'll pull this around. Lock two. There. Now we know that it's not going to come off. You'll also notice you get a bag of hardware. All this stuff we'll show in the installation video how to install. You have a set of mount rails, mount hardware, and your mount legs, which obviously carry your locking clevis pins. But enough talk about the product. Let's go see how this works in action. We're going to show you a really great surf wave. We're going to show you what it looks like if you're not using the product, if you are using the product, and how best to set your boat up for surfing. So stick with us, got a lot to show you. Okay, getting started. First thing you're going to want to do when you prepare to go surfing is to set your ballast up. To properly set your ballast up, we're going to show you a trick that we learned to help you fully inflate the bag in order to properly fully fill the bag with water. And then after that, we're going to show you how to set up your ballast, proper placement, the amount of weight, and then also how the JetWash Deflector is going to help you create a really super smooth, surfable surf wave. So let's get going. One of the things you can do to maximize the water content of the bag, to fill every void, is take a little air pump like this and fill up the bag full of air first. This is going to make the bag stretch and expand to full size. Also very lightweight, easy to position. Once we get it full, then we'll take it and we'll locate it where we want to locate it, tie it down, and then we'll go to fill it full of water. It's important to know that when you're filling it full of water that you need to let some air out as water comes in. That way the bag doesn't overpressurize. So just keep that in mind. There's a little air valve right here where my hand is. You'll unscrew that. Notice the air valve here. It's got a little air hole right on the side of that valve there. And so as we're filling with water on the fill side, we're going to let air out on the air side. And that's going to allow us to get the maximum amount of water as well as the optimal placement. Once you fill this bag full of water, you're not going to put it anywhere. It's there. It's not moving. So do this first. It's a little trick we've learned that's really helped us a lot. All right, now we got the bag full of air. We got it in placement. We want to surf the port side, so the bag is going to be on the swim platform all the way over to the port side. Before you go filling this thing full of water, you want to tie it down. And you ask me why I know that? Because I've done that before and the bag almost fell in the water. If it falls in the water, you are not going in after it. So tie yourself off a nice knot. Secure the bag exactly where you'd like for it to go. Pass the rope through the handles. And then on this boat, it's nice because we got these really nice grab handles right here, down low. We're going to just tie that down. And then we know that when we fill this full of water, it's not going to want to roll off on us. I may secure this a little bit more, maybe with one more rope when we're done. We have our Super Tsunami pump, highly recommended. Comes from Fat Sack. Great electric pump to fill this bag full of water. Once you've got the pump where you want it, just simply take your 12-volt plug here, fish this up here along to the dash. One important thing to note when you've got your plug-in connected to your accessory here, go ahead and wrap your cord around something stationary so that if the pump moves, it's not pulling the cord out of the inlet. If you do that, you're going to have no voltage, no power back there on your pump. So just wrap it around like you see here to keep the pressure off the connection. Before we throw it in the water, let's go ahead and undo the fill. We're going to do our quick disconnect here. Once it's snapped on and locked, we're going to throw our pump directly in the water. You can see water flow. There we go. As it starts to come in, it's going to start immediately pressurizing the bag. So go ahead and just open the cap a little bit here and let a little bit of this air out. You want it to conform nicely to sit both top and bottom so the swim platform is sharing the load. To make this more stable, to make sure that the bag doesn't move a lot, we went in and added a second line to secure to the top just so that it stays put. We got lots of airflow coming out now, so I can feel there's air coming out, there's water coming in. We're going to fill this bag all the way to the top. Once we got it full, you'll notice the water on the swim platform, this side will be high and dry, but that side will start to sit underwater. And that's the goal. When you're surfing, the surf side needs to have that lower swim platform submerged if you're going to get this right. The ballast placement is important and the amount of ballast is important. You got to get the surf side underwater if you're going to have a chance at having a good strong wave with good push. As the bag is starting to fill, you can actually hear when you slap it, you can feel that the air is gone. And so we're seeing water coming out of the air fill here. We'll go ahead and turn this, close this shut, and then disconnect really quickly, cap it off so we don't lose much of our water. And then we'll disconnect our pump and we'll stow this in the front. Really handy. And it pumps fairly quickly. That was about a 5-minute fill. All right, let's talk about ballast weight and ballast placement. For your JetWash deflector to work properly, to give you max performance, it's important to get your ballast just right. So I want to show you what we've done today. This is going to give us a pretty great wave. First of all, we have Fat Sack's 750-pound step bag. This is great for Yamaha boats. This one was purpose built for 21-foot boats, but we're making it work on this 25 today. It's got this nice big step so it can straddle both top and bottom swim platforms and distribute that weight. Really nice. Inside the storage compartment back here, I've got 250 pounds for a total of 1,000 on the swim platform. Then on top of the engine compartment here, I've got another 200 pounds here. I have 100 pounds here. I've got 200 pounds inside my storage locker and another couple of 100 pounds inside that storage locker there. In the front, I've got about 150 pounds in the bow to help me keep the bow down, and one passenger cameraman today plus myself. So all total, we're going to have a little over 2,000 pounds of ballast, including people. Got a full tank of gas today. This boat carries 120 gallons of fuel, so it's really a great surf boat. If you're looking for a Yamaha boat that surfs well, this one is the king daddy. I'm telling you, it makes the best surf wave. So let's see what it looks like to have a proper setup with ballast and also your JetWash Deflector installed. All right, so let's talk about improper ballast setup. Ballast setup is the most critical part of your surfing experience. I'm going to show you what we've done here to intentionally do it wrong, so you'll kind of see some examples of what it's not supposed to look like as compared to what it's supposed to look like. First off, you'll notice the swim platform, both sides of the swim platform are submerged. We really don't want that. We want the surf side submerged, but the opposite side up. Secondly, I've got the JetWash deflector kind of pointed in the middle instead of being turned to the surf side. Thirdly, I've got the ballast kind of equalized. I've got ballast on the left, I got ballast on the right. I want to show you some of these things and what that does to the wave. Now what I'm going to do is, while we're filming this shot, I'm going to keep the camera rolling. I'm going to show you just a quick change in how that affects the wave. All right, I'm going to take the ballast that I had over on this side. We're going to position it back where it was. I'm going to take my JetWash deflector and move it over to where it's pointed towards the port side. Now that that's locked out, keep the camera on the wave, and then we'll show you the difference. So what you can see there is, just by a simple adjustment either to the JetWash deflector or to the ballast, we go from having a really frothy, foamy wave to a really nice laminar smooth wave. I wanted to make sure I emphasize that so you see the importance of ballast setup. It's all about your ballast setup. So let's talk now about your conditions. What you want to do is you want to find a calm day. Don't go surfing on a rough day. Don't try to go surfing in the middle of the afternoon when all the other boats are churning up the water and making it all wavy. You're going to have a bad experience. Surf early in the morning or late in the afternoon, or times when there's no one on the water. Secondly, find deep water. 20-foot depth or more is really optimal. Anything deeper than that, it's all gravy. But 20 foot plus, you're good. Less than 20 foot, it's going to impact your wave height, okay? And finally, going back to the wave placement, it's critical to place your ballast or your people in the right place. If you do not, you're going to get a really crappy wave like we saw just now. If you do place it properly, you're going to get a great wave and have a great time. It is important to note that if you have people sitting in the boat, sitting them in a place that's optimal for the wave placement or wave shape is important. So experiment with that. If you don't have the amount of ballast we have on the boat today, use people weight. It works the same. Try to go out boating with a full tank of gas. It's obviously more weight. It helps. The more weight on the boat, the bigger the wave's going to be, especially for people that weigh more than 180 pounds. If you want to surf ropeless, you got to have the ballast. So once again, ballast, JetWash deflector, and perfect passive if you got it. Those three things is going to make your life really a lot of fun. You're going to have a great time this summer. Let's talk for a few moments now about placing your ballast in the bow of the boat. Some people ask, can I put a lot of weight up in the front? And the answer is, if you want to elongate your wave, making the wave longer, basically from the transom back to your surfer, if you want to lengthen that length, then putting weight in the bow helps to lengthen that wave. But it also has the adverse effect of knocking down the wave height. So the more weight you put in the bow, the shorter the wave's going to be. It's not going to be as tall. We put just enough weight in the bow to keep it down where we can see and get to speed. You want to try to attack that at perfect speed of about 11.2 miles an hour if you can. So putting weight in the front, do it at your own, with your own setup. But just understanding the more you put in the bow, the more you're going to take away from the wave height. We try to put most of the weight in the back, in the corner, right on top of the engine and aft. That's really where the sweet spot is. You put your passengers in this area, you're going to find that you get a lot more wave size, and also the wave tends to be a little bit more mellow. If you try to kind of squat the boat, set it down, lean it over, the wave has a nice mellow shape to it as compared to if you don't have it set up that way. Sometimes it can be a bit peaky and a bit tall, a bit steep. So as you experiment, you'll find your best setup. But I hope that some of these pointers today we've given you will help you. For more information about JetWash Deflector and how to make your Yamaha boat surf well, visit us at jetboatpilot.com. There's tons of information there, tons of video content, lots of products to help you. Obviously, there's a Contact Us page. If you want to reach out to us, you can contact us through the Contact Us page. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We've got lots of platforms to reach out to us from. So you can ask us questions anytime you'd like to. Be glad to help out. So once again, we appreciate you watching this video today. We hope it was helpful. Thanks. Have a great day.